everybody believes one thing's true and the actual statistics aren't? I'll give you a couple of them, okay? All businesses borrow money. It takes money to make money. That's just complete bull. I mean, I know bazillions of businesses that operate debt-free. Lots of them do, okay? It's not that unusual at all. It's just some broke finance professor that's teaching you the benefit of bonds or something that wants you to have a bond balance in your publicly traded company. And so it's nuts. The second one is this. Family businesses don't survive. Shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. You ever heard that one? First generation builds it up, second generation rides it, and third generation tears it down. You ever heard that? It's actually statistically not true. Family businesses, there's a whole science around family business. You can actually get a degree in family business from Kennesaw University now. There are family business conferences. There's whole reams of material written on family business. And there's tons of data that show that family business, privately held family businesses, are more resilient and longer lasting than publicly traded companies. They outlast them. There's a bunch of them on the landscape. One of the most famous ones that makes about 700 million Skittles a year, Mars Candy and Pet Food, owned by 2 sisters. I think it's a $27 billion company, if I remember correctly. 2 sisters own it. I think it's 5th generation or something like that. And nobody talks about it, but everybody's just like, well, you can't hand it off to your kids because, if you hand it off to your kids, it ruins your kids. And no, you ruined your kids. Wasn't the business's fault. Lots of businesses are handed off. Again, I'll point back to Chick-fil-A. They're handing it off and doing a great job. The case study at Harvard on the Cathy family and how good a job they've done on their succession and transition planning and all that kind of stuff. Lots of us have modeled pieces of what we're doing after them. There's a lot of information. So that's one of those myths. You have to borrow money. Here's another myth, all right? All millionaires, all rich people inherited their money. You ever heard that one? Bullcrap. Statistical bullcrap. We just finished studying 10,160 millionaires. In-depth, largest, most comprehensive study, piece of research ever done on millionaires in North America. We're going to publish the findings in Chris Hogan's new book that will come out in January. Here's what we found. 79% of America's millionaires did not receive a dime in inheritance. That's 8 out of 10. Another 16% received less than $100,000, which mathematically makes it impossible for them to become a millionaire because of an inheritance. They became a millionaire because they saved money and got out of debt. No duh. And so let's put those numbers together. That would be 89. That would be 95%. Did I do that right? I did that right, didn't I? 95% did not inherit their money. See, the problem with that one is if you believe that all rich people inherit their money, then that lets you off the hook and you don't have to get off your butt and go make something of your life. You can blame everyone else and be a victim. Well, that just pissed off some politically correct people, didn't it? Good. Because you have every opportunity to get up off your butt and go be somebody. So it doesn't take money to make money. All family businesses don't fail, and all millionaires didn't inherit their money. Rich people all inherited their money. Bull. You don't know what you're talking about. I've got actual real research, the largest, most comprehensive piece of research ever done on this subject. Can't touch this, baby. So you just can't believe you can't believe things that are not true and have no impact on your life. If you believed that your business was going to ruin your children's life, why would you build a business and leave it to your children? If you believe that the only way to start a business and run a business is borrow money, then you're going to go borrow money, which, by the way, is the number one cause of business failure, cash flow problems. Taxes and debt take down 80% of small businesses in the first 5 years. Taxes and debt, they call it cash flow problems. And you can't ignore truth. You can't ignore reality and adopt mythology as your baseline, your plumb line for your life, and get out of that get out of that equation unharmed. You know, it's like, I believe that running with scissors won't hurt me, so I run with scissors. You remember your mother telling you not to run with scissors? Why? Because you'll kill your butt. Don't do that. You know, I believe. I don't care what you believe. Well, I feel. I don't care what you feel. What I want to know is what's real, what the truth is. You can't feel your way into the truth. Your feelings don't matter. You need to find out what the truth is on some of these subjects and align yourself with that, and then go there. And so, you know, this idea that all companies have debt, all people have a credit card, every student has a student loan, every blah, 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 and all these generalities, they're all victim stuff. They're all, instead of you being a victor, you get the opportunity to be a victim. And Condi Rice said it beautifully last week when we were at Entree Leadership Summit. She said, as soon as you assume the position of victim, you give your power to someone else. Whoa! Mic drop. As soon as I'm a victim, I just gave my power to someone else. And she was talking about racism and sexism, being an African-American lady. And she has suffered from both. But she said, I'm not a victim, because as soon as I'm a victim of racism, I'm a victim of sexism, then I just gave my power to the bully jerk that was trying to pull that off. I'm not giving my power to them. I'm going to triumph over them. A victor, not a victim. Ooh, man, that lady is something. She's got an intellect that'll curl your hair if I had some. But, man, impressive. But you know what I'm talking about? The other line she dropped, man, she had some tweetable lines. Doesn't matter what she said. She grew up in Birmingham in a segregated neighborhood. And she said, all my parents told me my whole life was not you're from the hood, not from you're from this. She said, all they told me is it doesn't matter where you're coming from. All that matters is where you're going to. Woohoo! That'll preach. Doesn't matter where you're coming from. All that matters is where you're going to. A buddy of mine come from a rough neighborhood. He said, Dave, getting out of the hood's easier than getting the hood out of you. See, that's the difference in a victim and a victor. You got to decide, don't you? The neat thing is you have the power. You just get to decide. You have the power of choice. You decide which one you're going to be. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Believe the truth and act on it. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.